This is the artificial intelligence voice of Chris Williamson narrating this pod-slice summary of the Modern Wisdom podcast. In this dialogue, Shane Parrish delves into the concept of independent thinking. He emphasizes that independent thought is much more than just disagreement with mainstream opinions. It's about presenting beneficial divergent perspectives that challenge the norm, but also provide accurate insight. Independent thinkers need resilience, being ready to appear foolish momentarily for long-term gains. Such people should afford potential failures emotionally, financially, and mentally. The status quo often prevails in big organizations because the fear of losing jobs and financial security looms large for those who dare to stand out. People need not only the freedom to voice their thoughts, but also the financial safety to ensure that job loss won't ruin their lives. Accuracy of thinking, Parrish continues, is vital in managing social defaults and resisting urges that could lead others into trouble. These two factors are prerequisites for independent thinking. Then he moves on to elaborate on the concepts of easy mode A's and hard mode. Drawing from a personal anecdote about his son's poor exam performance, Parrish points out that our choices often determine whether we make our lives easier or tougher. For instance, simple decisions like studying regularly, sleeping well, eating healthily, and avoiding petty squabbles can enhance our ability to tackle exams, a scenario he equates with easy mode. If you're negligent of these factors, you're essentially choosing to play on hard mode. And the concept extends beyond exams to life as a whole. Factors like debt level, relationships, sleep, and diet can place you on easy mode or hard modes. Good preparation and positioning are essential to cope with life's unexpected twists and effectively seize opportunities. Here, preparation refers to readiness for foreseeable events, while positioning involves broader preparedness for unexpected scenarios. As they continue the conversation around mental flexibility and integration, Perry highlights the importance of embracing a holistic approach to thinking rather than merely holding on to fragmented ideas or mental models. These mental models are merely tools to help us think three-dimensionally and decrease our blind spots. However, they cannot replace our emotional intelligence, response to social situations, or confidence. Mental models can also lead to overanalysis, resulting in paralysis when swift action is needed instead. Life, like a mosaic, demands a balanced integration of all the facets, including work, relationships, and health. The priority scale accompanying these facets shifts with time. That means sometimes work takes precedence, other times health or relationships gain more focus. The key to sailing smoothly through life's diverse phases lies in managing these shifts adeptly and ensuring no single aspect reaches zero. In this part of the podcast, Shane Parrish engages in a profound discussion on the concept of a clear thinking with Chris Williamson. Parrish identifies four primary enemies of clear thinking: emotion, ego, social norms, and inertia or ritual. He emphasizes that humans, being emotional creatures, often make decisions based on temporary feelings over rationale. Egotistical decisions also cloud thinking, leading people to choices that often cause regret later. Additionally, social norms can pressure individuals into conformity, even making them agree to scenarios that they don't desire. Finally, the comfort of rituals or inertia can prevent people from embracing new or different experiences, thereby narrowing their perspectives. Shane shared an insightful anecdote about Nobel laureate Daniel Kahneman, who devised a rule to prevent himself from succumbing to subtle social pressures. On this rule, never saying yes during telephone calls and instead promising to get back the next day allowed Kahneman to create a buffer that saved him from impulsive agreements. Parrish found Kahneman's tactic in dealing with social situations both inspiring and practical. Aside from social engagements, Parrish discusses personal rules that can be implemented in daily life for better functioning. He mentions that he always pays invoices as quickly as possible, following the premise that quick payments ensure better prioritization of work by partners. Another recommendation involves building habits of reaching out to people whenever they come to his mind. This tactic aids friendships as it makes others in his life aware that they are remembered and cared for. Parrish then stresses that our rules must align with our desired behaviors. The goal is to transform these desired behaviors into our default behaviors. He shares a personal rule. He works out every day, varying the activity and intensity based on his schedule and location. The key idea being to remain physically active regardless of circumstances. are moving forward. Parrish considers the morning hours as the most valuable part of his day, which is why he refrains from scheduling any meetings before 12. The undisturbed morning hours are vital for focusing on important tasks, learning, and self-development. And lastly, Parrish shares his investment strategy. Approval of proper financial planning. He opts for a dollar-cost averaged investment into an index fund, thereby outlining the importance of smart and regular investment habits for securing financial stability. Continuing from Parrish's point on institutional safeguards, he explains that people generally fail to solve problems due to lack of clarity in defining the problem itself. He elaborates on this by mentioning meetings wherein people hastily jump to solutions without a thorough understanding of the issue. This haste often leads to stress and miscommunication down the line. To avoid this, Parrish recommends splitting meetings into two parts: problem definition and problem solution, ensuring that everyone understands the issue before solving it. Digging further into organization structures, Parrish insists that individuals should be decision makers instead of committees. He argues that individuals take the decision-making process more seriously and feel the weight of accountability. Besides, committees often lead to confusion, miscommunication, and lack of acceptance of failures. Furthermore, organizations that successfully implement this principle appear much more functional to us. In the context of strengthening thinking level, the idea of confidence plays a crucial role as per Parrish. But it's not just about achieving the end goal, it's about gaining enough confidence to take the next step. Hence, this approach instills momentum and progressively builds confidence. Moreover, knowledge about one's strengths and weaknesses, amplifying those strengths, and being accountable for the mistakes can significantly boost the thinking process. On a practical note, the concept of self-control, as described by Parrish, is not about controlling momentary emotions, but about opting out of situations that can trigger those feelings. It's about the design of your mental and physical environment. By doing so, the possibility of giving into impulsive emotions is nullified. Now, detailing this further, he uses the example of not sending emails past 9, a rule that he sets for himself as a form of self-control. By identifying that potential pitfall, he's able to avoid undesirable outcomes. Parrish gives a valuable perspective on understanding and coping with risk, arguing that fear and over-preparation can sometimes lead to greater concern. He reminds listeners that it's important to recognize that not everything will turn out as expected, thereby asserting the importance of mental agility to navigate through unpredictabilities. He emphasizes that the journey is oftentimes more crucial than the destination, urging listeners to derive learning from uncharted paths. In this discussion, Parrish delves into the interesting dynamics of fear and how it impacts our decisions and actions. He posits that often what holds people back isn't just the fear of failure, but surprisingly, the fear of success. Parrish elucidates this point with examples of quitting smoking and going to the gym. In both instances, success would entail a change in one's social group, a sacrifice many people are unwilling or afraid to make. Delving further into the fears associated with success, Parrish acknowledges the subconscious barriers that may hold someone back from seeking a promotion. He suggests that people may resist standing out from their peers or fear becoming targets of envy. Furthermore, he argues that often our fears stem from an emotional or financial incapability to handle the fallout of standing out. An interesting part of the conversation revolves around how organizations rarely change without a crisis. Parrish cites a friend who saved his company about $20 million in expenses, only to receive a minuscule reward for it. And the disparity between the risk taken and the reward given explains why things rarely change within organizations. Discussing the concept of ascending, particularly in context to online communities, Chris Williamson highlights how movement and change are often heavily discouraged. Ascending may unsettle others due to the reflection it provides on their own lack of action or change. This highlights Parrish's earlier point on the fear of success, as people are often afraid of the impact their growth may have on their relationships and social standing. When prioritizing and deciding which paths to pursue in life, Parrish advocates for introspection. He argues that it's important to live life consciously, considering the impact that our choices will have not just on our financial or career success, but also on our relationships and personal growth, reflecting on popular societal goals such as wealth and recognition. He points out the emptiness of success without significant relationships, suggesting that what we often perceive as goals may in fact be distractions from what truly matters. This idea ties back into Parrish's commentary on the fear of success, suggesting that often what we fear in success is the loss of what truly matters to us. Overall, the conversation underscores the complexity of our motivations and fears tied to success and change. By questioning our intentions and understanding these fears, we can better navigate our decisions and actions towards achieving meaningful success. Further into the discussion, Parrish and Williamson suggest that in the pursuit of success, it's essential for individuals to be mindful of not only achieving their goals, but also wanting things that are truly worth having. Using the working world as an example, Parrish notes how societal expectations encourage individuals to take on numerous tasks, often resulting in an overwhelming workload. However, he emphasizes that individuals should focus on a few priorities, mastering those tasks to generate superior output. This approach, he suggests, creates non-linear outcomes, resulting in outstanding. Parrish also criticizes the common societal desires for material accumulations, asserting that such desires are distractions that can obstruct true happiness. Instead, he advocates for a fixation on the process as achieving a goal rather than the final outcome. Loving the process, he suggests, allows for consistent improvements and developments that ultimately result in long-lasting happiness. When individuals focus on the anticipation of a goal rather than the attainment of it, they find more joy and satisfaction. As such, Parrish advises individuals to concentrate on the journey rather than the destination. And additionally, Parrish and Williamson critique the habit of juggling multiple tasks at once. Such plate spinning hampers an individual's ability to fully dedicate themselves to a single endeavor, leading to mediocre outcomes in all areas and impeding personal. To be successful, one needs to focus on a single objective and concentrate all their energy on that task. Hence, the discourse between Parrish and Williamson underscores the importance of reassessing personal desires and ambitions. By adopting a mindful and focused approach to task execution, one can find joy in the journey towards achieving their goals and, in turn, pave the way for success that is genuinely satisfying and meaningful. The conversation between Chris Williamson and Shane Parrish takes a deep dive into the exploration of personal desires, success, and the overall concept of happiness. They emphasize the necessity for individuals to reassess their desires and ambitions to ensure they align with their personal values and not just societal pressures. In this intense conversation, Shane Parrish emphasizes the importance of focusing on specific tasks, suggesting that the secret to success lies not in the number of tasks one can juggle, but in the proficiency with which they execute a few chosen tasks. It is interesting to note Parrish's critique of societal expectations, especially in the professional sphere, where multitasking is often celebrated while attention to detail is forsaken. Parrish eloquently signifies focusing on a few priorities and mastering those tasks, which generates superior output and leads to non-linear outcomes, ultimately heightening the chance for outstanding reward. Furthermore, Parrish presents a thought-provoking counterpoint to the widely accepted desire for material accumulation. He proposes that this hunger for tangible wealth acts as a distraction, resigning true happiness to the shadows. Endless pursuit of these materialistic desires often leads to the abandonment of the actual process of achieving the goal, which Parrish argues is where the real joy lies. Parrish passionately advocates for a shift in focus from outcomes to processes. He suggests that there is a unique satisfaction to be gleaned from the actual process of achieving goals. The incremental improvement and growth that comes with the concerted focus on the journey of aspiration realization brings about a more profound sense of accomplishment and enduring happiness. Echoing the sentiment, host Chris Williamson agrees, adding his thoughts on the prevalence of a plate spinning in modern society. He notes that this constant juggling of responsibilities often detracts from one's ability to commit fully to a single endeavor. This lack of focus, they argue, can lead to subpar outcomes and stifle personality. Through this ongoing exchange of ideas, Parrish and Williamson extend the perspectives of their listeners, challenging conventional thought patterns about success, personal satisfaction, and happiness. Their dialogue espouses the vitality of not just achieving goals, but also relishing the process. It calls for a shift from traditional multitasking towards concentrated engagement, fostering deliberation on whether familiar paths to success are as fulfilling as they seem.